Are live.
Welcome to our Toronto Seniors Housing Audit, Finance and Risk Committee meeting of June 3rd, 2026. My name is Costa Kostouros, and I have the privilege of chairing this committee and look forward to today's meeting. We are live streaming on YouTube and have no deputations today. I'd like to acknowledge that June is Seniors Awareness Month, Italian Heritage Month, National Indigenous History Month, Portuguese Heritage Month, Pride Month, and Filipino Heritage Month. We have a full agenda today, and we'll be going into a closed session where we will return to the public realm. At this time, we have no items to approve from our closed session. With that, I will now begin our land and African ancestral acknowledgements. Toronto Seniors Housing Corporation recognizes that we live and work on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wet'nut nations, and that this area is now home to a diverse population of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We recognize that Toronto is situated within the traditional territories governed by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Treaty between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe nations, the Two-Row Wampum Treaty between Haudenosaunee and the Dutch, as well as the Treaty 13 and the Williams Treaties involving the Anishinaabe and the Crown. These agreements remain in effect today, underscoring our shared responsibility as treaty people. TSHC has benefited from these treaties and the resources of this land by providing essential housing services to seniors in Toronto. We are dedicated to furthering reconciliation initiatives, which include facilitating staff education on the historical and ongoing impacts of policies affecting Indigenous peoples. This encompasses topics such as the Indian Act, residential schools, treaty violations, and the continued crisis surrounding missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Toronto Seniors Housing Corporation acknowledges the racism and injustices faced by individuals who were brought to this land involuntarily, particularly those affected by the transatlantic slave trade. We acknowledge the experiences of Black peoples who arrived in Canada seeking a better life following the abolition of slavery by the British in 1834, while also recognizing the structural, systemic, and individual racism that they encountered, which continues to persist today. This racism culminated in the tragic destruction of Africville, which was once the largest settlement of the Black community in Canada. Toronto Seniors Housing is committed to recognizing all forms of racism, especially anti-Black racism, and is actively working to combat these injustices. We will now proceed to item number 3, approval of the public meeting agenda. I would first like to note a change to the AFRC public agenda. We are moving item 8, CO update, as our CO has no update at this time. With that, does anyone have any new business or any other amendments to the agenda? No? Don't see anybody. Hearing none, may I have someone move that the June 3rd, 2026 AFRC public meeting agenda be approved as amended?
So moved.
Brenda, and moved and just seconded. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? With all in favor, be it resolved that the June 3rd, 2026 AFRC public meeting agenda is approved as amended. We will now proceed to item number 4, conflict of interest. May I call for any declarations of conflict of interest? I don't see any. Hearing none, we will move on to item number 5, approval of the AFRC public session minutes. Are there any amendments to the public session minutes of April 8, 2026? Jess?
Yeah, I believe there is
typo on page 13, and the whole sentence is misstated.
Okay, on page 13. Maybe Karen, you can help us by sharing it, or Jess, you want to tell us what the discrepancy is?
I inquired about the building being retained, which is incorrect, with the noted 30 million, number 30, spent on mortgage. So I don't know what the minutes actually say, but retained is the wrong word, and it's buildings. And it's 30 million, not number 30.
Perhaps, Mr. Chair, maybe
Yeah.
Justin suggested a revision, and we can adopt it with that revision.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Costa, sorry to interrupt through the chair.
Yeah.
I believe the change that Jess is looking for is in the closed minutes.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
I believe the change you're looking for, Jess, are in the closed minutes, not in the public minutes. And the item at this time is the public minutes, just for reference.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Grant. Okay, so do we have any other amendments? None? Okay. May I have someone move that the April 8th public session minutes be approved?
As amended.
Thank you, Brenda. Seconder?
Lawrence, yeah.
Thank you, Lawrence. All in favor? Great. Any opposed? With all in favor, be it resolved that the public session minutes are approved as presented. We will now proceed to item number 6, approval of the AFRC closed session minutes. So maybe Jess here is where we can amend the minutes as per your comments. So this, let me try to find it.
Mr. Chair, it's page 3 of 4 of the closed session minutes. States Jess Cahoon inquired about the building being retained. He would like retained taken, and the number sign out from 30 to just state 30 million. Is that correct, Jess?
Yeah. You're on mute, Jess.
I'm not quite sure what the retained look was referring to, so I'm going to look up the previous minutes to see what the statement was. And I'll put a note in at the end.
So,
Yes, the
Mr.
number
Chair,
30
we can
should be.
make a motion to amend as per Jess. And that will reflect in the next.
Okay, thank you, Karen. So can we have someone move with Jess's amendments, please? Okay, Jess, thank you. Seconder, please. Brenda, thank you. All in favor? Good. Anybody opposed? With all in favor, be it resolved that the closed session minutes with Jess's amendment be approved as presented. We will now proceed to item number 7, action items review. As noted on the list, all our action items have been completed. First item being the TSHC benefit provider, who is Medavie Blue Cross, which we have procurement change order for after this item. The second action item, seniors on wait list. An email was sent today from Karen providing information from the city's website. This item is for information only. As noted, there's no CEO update, and therefore we will move to item number 9, which is procurement change order. Over to you, Vince. Is Vince on?
Mr.
Yep.
Chair, Vince is on. It looks so he's muted. He had noted that he was having technical difficulties. Vince,
I see his box.
I sent a request for Vince to unmute, but it looks like he's having technical difficulties here.
Okay. Should we come back to this, Karen or Tom, or Fareed? Or should we wait a bit?
I'm okay for us to move on, and we can come back to this item, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, and committee members and board members, Vince does have the next few line items. He has left the meeting and hopefully will return. If we wanted to make just 1 minute, he's come back into the lobby. Vince,
Hi, can you hear me
can
now?
you speak if you're here? Great.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Sorry about that. And thank you, Mr. Chair, and through the chair and to the audit committee. The purpose of this report is to provide a recommendation regarding the approval of the procurement change order for TSHC for the TSHC employee group benefits provider Medivie Blue Cross, subject to the procurement method, delegations of authority. The board and or board committee, as appropriate, shall approve all competitive process where the cumulative change order is exceeding the amount of $250,000 or 20% of the cumulative value, or to extend the term of the contract. The recommendation is to approve $1.580 million for the period ending on December 31st, 2026. Background, back in 2023, under the request for proposal with TSHC, TSHC went out for a 7-year term. The estimated amount was about $8.3 million, and that cost included some cost escalation and also some inflations and service costs. However, the figure back in 2020 did not include the staffing levels and did not consider authorized increases to headcounts and also to collective agreements and adjusted benefits to the plan. Additionally, resources have to be added to offset some of the higher usage of approximately additional positions there, resulting in cumulative shortfall of about $1.58 million. The shortfall, however, has been included and embedded throughout the last couple of years and including in 2026 as well. So in terms of the impact there, has already been adjusted and included in our financial statements and also for forecast. I'll take any questions if there are any at this point.
Thank you, Vince. Do we have any questions for Vince? Any comments? I don't see none.
Brenda Ferris has her hand raised, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Karen, Brenda?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Brenda.
All right, sorry about that. Couldn't get my mouse working. Is this a self-funded package that we have to ensure that we have adequate funds? I don't know if I'm using the correct term.
Yeah.
Vince or anyone else who can answer that?
Yes, to the chair and to the board committee. Yes, it is a self-funded. We call this program under the administrative only services, where we pay the majority of it through directly at TSHC. Of course, certainly they provide us with the administration, but any cost as it relates to the plan itself is an ASO funded, which is funded from TSHC.
And that's funded from general revenues.
Correct.
So it's not, our staff don't pay any premiums per se, or do they?
In terms of the actual benefits at this point, all the benefits are 100% covered through the company and organization.
Employer funded. Okay,
Correct.
okay.
But to Brenda's point, Vince, there is a contribution or a deduction on payroll for employees to enjoy these benefits, or is it all from the employer?
As far as I know, Mr. Chair, this amount is 100% employer paid. There is some, what we consider to be, when you contribute to some of the services, like some of the service more directly, there is a co-pay component of it, but the majority of it is through there is no contribution from the employees
Right.
that goes into the program.
And part-time staff are not included in this, or are they at a proportionate?
Part-time and also temporary staff are not included in here, provided that they've signed an agreement that says that they're not entitled to this benefits here.
And what percentage of our staff are part-time?
At this point right now, we have a high volume of staff that are in the full-time range, but I can maybe bring on board Carol to add anything further on that.
Okay.
Carol, do you have the answer? Just briefly, I don't need exact. I'm just trying to get a sense of, because a lot of workplaces, as you know, keep people in perpetual part-time status so they don't have to pay benefits. So that's not our case, I hope.
No.
Tom, I hear you shaking, see you shaking your head.
That's right. I can't through the chair. I can't hear Carol, or so I can just. We have a very high proportion of full-time staff.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we don't, corporately, no part-time staff. There's two contract who have some benefits. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Thank
Okay.
you. I just want to make sure we're being good employers.
Yeah, and probably to all the points, maybe Carol can help. There is an in lieu of benefits provision in the salary, or not, Carol?
Carol seems to be having technical difficulties as well, Mr. Chair. We have staff going into to help, but we do have Dave Slater on as well. Not sure if you can answer these, Dave. Well, we'll help Carol with her.
Yes, I can. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think Carol's answering.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Through the chair. There is no pay in lieu of benefits. Employees are eligible for benefits, and for a regular permanent staff, it's mandatory because the insurance component.
Yes.
And yes.
All right. Thank you. I didn't mean to extend. I just want to make sure.
Oh,
okay.
If I may, my apologies. There was an issue with my speaker that Emma helped me fix. So I've been talking to you all since the beginning of the meeting and not sure why I wasn't getting any response, but now I know. So my apologies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for clarifying. Thank you, Brenda, for your question. Do we have any further questions or comments to Vince's presentation? No. Okay, we're looking for a motion to approve this procurement change order. May I get a committee member to motion to approve and recommend to the Board of Directors to adopt the following resolution? Approve and award the following change order in which the cumulative change order value exceeds 20% of the original commitment value of the contract to Medavie Blue Cross, increase the authorized spending limit for Group B benefits, health, dental, and insurance for the period of July 1st, 26 to December 31st, 26 in the amount of $1,580,000. May I have a motion, please? Brenda, thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Lawrence, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Any opposed? With all in favor, be it resolved that the procurement change order is approved as presented. We will now go to item number 10, biannual procurement report. Vince, back to you, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through the chair and to the committee, the procurement summarizes the purchase made in quarter 3 and quarter 4 in 2025, in accordance with the procurement methods and delegations of authority requirements. And presented with you in there is a table outlining essentially all the purchases made in the the last 2 quarters of the year, I'll take any questions if there are any at this point. Just to give you a bit of context, we presented this more or less biannual or semi-annual, and the last time that we did this was in, I believe it was in September of 2025, outlining the first half of the year. So right now, this is the second half of the year. And so this outlines all of the purchases, all the reports made through a different threshold, as stated in the delegations of authority procurement methods there. So I'll take any questions if there are any at this point.
Thank you, Vince. Any questions for Vince, please? Okay. I don't see any. Okay. This item was for information only. We will now go to item number 11, Q1 and April 2026 financial result. Back to you, Vince.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to the Audit Committee. Through April 30th, 2026, TSHC recorded operations expenses of $17,558,255 against total revenue of $19,136,404, resulting in excess of revenue over expenses of $1.578 million, including amortization. Surplus for the first 4 months is mainly due to a couple of big reasons. One of them, of course, is being the surplus of the $1.737 million, which we will talk a bit more in the in-camera as it relates to the reconciliation. The other piece of it is relating to salary and other benefits, which show a favorable outcome for the first 4 months of this year. The salary and benefits were below budgets, primarily due to the post-retirement benefits accruals at this point. However, it is offset by higher expenses in parental leave, WSIB, LT, long-term disability, low vacancy rate, and of course, the impact arising from the collective agreement. Overall, that amount should net out by the end of the year, and all the information is available in the attachment number 1, which outlines that for result for TSHC. Attachment number 2 is a statement of financial position, which shows our balance sheet account as of the end of April of 2026. And I'll take any questions if there are any at this time.
Thank you, Vince. Do we have any questions for Vince, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to note that Councillor Crisanti has joined. Councillor Crisanti, we're on item 11.
Welcome, Councillor. Okay. Yes, Jess. You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, I was trying to find the item. I believe there was an underspending in the community safety area. And I'm wondering if that can be recaptured, as safety and security have been addressed several times at various committee meetings. If there are additions that could use that money to create safer buildings.
Thank you, Jess. Tom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Costa. I can take that one. And through the chair to the committee, and just to let you know that we are actively working with TSHC now and the CSU around the actually the allocation of third-party coverage at buildings, and as well checking in on directed patrols to the different buildings. So if there is in fact a kind of an opportunity for an adjustment, it would be through that process. I should also mention, I think, and this was made in the presentation to the QTech, was around the community safety advisors. There are currently 2. They were hiring more. So whether that would also be an area that we will be speaking to the CSU about as a possibility for further support. So to your question, Jess, we are actively working with CSU to I just say to potentially enhance safety coverage.
I will note, Tom, that we now have patrols regularly in our building.
Thank you.
So that's an action that we welcome, and certainly the regional person has been very active in
Appreciate the feedback, Jess. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great to know. Brenda, you have a question? You're on mute though.
Yeah, it was just, Tom, the community safety advisors. These are 2 people who were hired, and they were what, to coordinate, to talk to regional managers, to talk to people in, what's their role? I wasn't quite.
Yes, thanks. I through the chair to the committee and Brenda, I will start to answer, but Brad knows this the better than I do. But the community safety advisors have been part of the CSU for even before the formation of Toronto Seniors Housing. So it's not a new position. And so both Chris and Shane, they, at the request primarily of the regional operation manager or Brad, they can attend to a building. They can talk to the tenants about safety. They when there are specific safety meetings that are called at a building, the CSAs will be present. They also support investigations in the buildings around very kind of specific crime and criminal activity, and so they are very helpful to our staff as it relates to those investigations. And they also make recommendations on things like the directed patrols. They do discuss that with our staff, and then those can be put into place. So they are very active. And I also would like to say the tenants are very receptive to these 2 individuals and really appreciate their support. Brad, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, thanks, Tom, through the chair. The other function that they really help us with, they liaise with the Toronto Police for us in a lot of instances. So sharing information with Toronto Police and receiving information back from Toronto Police, as well as they perform safety audits of the different communities. So they go around, they'll meet with tenants, and then they'll perform a safety audit. They'll look at lighting levels, they'll look at convex and concave mirrors, CCTV camera levels and things like that, and make recommendations for the next year's budget as far as like how we can improve the safety, and if we need additional cameras through Toronto Community Housing or additional lights, etc.
That's great.
Thank you. It sounds great. Are we hoping to have more of them in time?
Through the chair to the committee, we hope. We will see where we have to have that. We have to have that discussion with CSU.
I understand.
Yeah.
So and they're technically part of the Toronto Community Housing staff.
Yes.
They are. Yes. Oh, I see.
To the CSU, through the CSU. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear that, and let's keep our eyes on that, because might be one of those kind of soft solutions, that can be quite effective. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That's yes, Jess.
Anecdotally, to the chair of the board, Chris and the Toronto Police Services did a presentation about safety and frauds in our building, and very well received, and gave great comfort to the people who attended.
Yeah, that's good to know. Thank you, Jess, and
Councillor
thank you.
Crisanti has his hand raised, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Crisanti, yes, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, and I apologize if somebody's already asked this or dealt with it. I see here that in the first 4 months we have a surplus, and apparently it's the first time we've had a surplus in the first 4 months in a while, I guess. There's $1.6 million. How do we treat that? This $1.6 million. Do we allocate it to other urgent things we need to spend money on, or How do we treat this surplus?
Yes, through the chair, to the committee and to the council. I can start, and once again, if anybody wants to add, please do so. So we actually, I think in the previous year as well, we did have a surplus in this at the end of the fourth quarter, slightly more than where we currently are positioned. And right now, Councillor, it's early in the year, so we will monitor this $1.6 million surplus. And once again, as it relates it's the reconciliation with TSHC. So much of that is dependent on their work as well in our buildings and what is taking place. So it's good that it's favorable, but we do have to be cautious. And in other years, if we see that surplus, that we are going to have a surplus, then we can say to, for example, the regional operation managers, are there buildings where we need to get more windows clean? Is there particular kind of sort of some maintenance work that we can get to, with the slight surplus? So we have done that in other years, but at this point, it is still kind of really, we're just watching what happens with that surplus.
Yeah, I would agree, Tom. It is early, and we're hoping to maintain this surplus throughout the year. And if we're at the end of the year and we still have a surplus of 1.5 or 6 or 2 million, then at that point, that money stays with us to allocate to the areas of state of good repair or whatever we critically need to ensure that we get caught up on and especially the more important parts of the services that we offer, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's fine then. Thank you.
And to the councillor's point, Tom, if we don't, then it's returned back to Toronto Community Housing, correct?
Through the chair to the committee, at this point, no, we are managing now with as a result of the relationship agreement. That element of our budget is managed separately. That work will be worked out with the city.
Okay.
Any surplus or deficit.
Yeah.
So
okay, thank you.
We keep it.
Yeah,
ultimately, we do keep it.
I just want to echo that just quickly there. Sorry, I'm not sure if you heard me, but yeah, to the point, to Tom's point earlier, yes, any surpluses right now, we are managing that with the city, and certainly in 2025, when we did have a bit of a surplus as well, we had to use that to offset the following year's deficit position. And also give some back to TSHC. So certainly we work very closely with the city to ensure that whatever surpluses we do have is maintained and also able to allocate accordingly based on the direction from the city. But just to maybe just to wrap up on that section there, under attachment number 1, on the right hand side, there's also the section what we consider to be forecast. Right now, we anticipate that there is going to be a bit of a what we consider to be a deficit position. As you can see there, that there is a deficit position by the end of the year. Again, we had a surplus in 2025 to offset that, but certainly within the course of the next 8 months, there will be expenses coming through. A lot of it, though, is going to contingent on the reconciliation with TSHC, and that's the reason you're showing a bit of a right now surplus right now for the first 4 months because of that $1.7 million amount showing there as a reconciliation there at this point.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Tom and Vince. Any further questions on Vince's presentation? No. This item was for information only. We will now proceed to our next agenda item, number 12, motion to move into a closed session. May I ask a committee member to move that we transfer into closed session under TSHC Bylaw 1, 2021, Section 4.19, subsection 1A, 1J, and 1L. May I have a Jess? Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Crisanti. All in favor? Anyone opposed? With all in favor, be it resolved that the meeting will now be closed to the public. So carried. We will now proceed to item number 13, approval